I don't want you to think that I've forgotten about what's going on across the water. We're going to go jump over to America and we're going to look at the realist movement. Here is our first work of art for realism in America. This is Winslow Homer and his painting Veteran in a New Field, painted in 1865. Winslow Homer, one of my favorite artists of all time. He was born in Boston, and he joined the Union Army during the Civil War as an artist for an illustrated magazine. So he was like a war correspondent. After the war, he really took up this realist approach to documenting everyday lives of real people, like this one here. The Veteran in a New Field. Let's think about the cultural context, the historical context. 1865. The United States has just finished the Civil War. So this young man here, he's not an American Revolutionary veteran. No. He's a Civil War veteran. Oh, whoa. Wow. We see him, and he's in front of this beautiful field of wheat with a sickle. It's a sharp, curved blade that you hold and edge it side to side to cut at the base of the wheat. More than that, he's wearing his old uniform. His old uniform is now the pants that he wears to work the fields. His canteen and his jacket tossed to the side there. What was once his military uniform is now his farming clothing. He's back at it. He's reaping the benefits. He's sowing, or he's reaping the benefits of the hard work that he sowed. He's part of this larger cycle of life. There's this natural rhythm of spring and summer and fall and winter, and he's a harvester. He's harvesting. He's adding to this cycle. The wheat will feed, the grain that will be planted again and grow again, generation after generation. It's poetic in that he turns away from us. I mean, you could almost argue that that's right, like Caspar David Friedrich, how he turned him away from us, right? But let's think about this in the context of realism, because there's really nothing like sublime about this, other than the fact that he's wearing his old uniform. But he's a real worker in a real situation, kind of like Courbet. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a compare and contrast. Let's look at the two of them. They're both realists, and we see hard manual labor. We see a horizon line. What about Winslow Homer's is not like Courbet's? The color, it's brighter, it's bold. That breaking of the horizon line, it's much more similar to like Millet and that optimism. Because this is after the Civil War. This is after the nightmare has been over. Well, it's still continuing, but the war has finished, and now we have to turn back to feed the nation, to fill our bellies, to get back to the hard work of everyday life. We want the smooth transition, disbanding of the army, and emphasizing just the tranquility and natural rhythm of the farm, of life, of unity, to be united together again. It's much more kind of like the argument that George Washington was making. Remember in this portrait of George Washington, he put down his sword and he took up the plow, right? There's the plow. That's what he told his militiamen to do. Put down the sword and take up the plow. Here we see a soldier has literally taken up the scythe to finish the harvest. Let us not stop, but continue the hard work of everyday life. Remember, this was something that even George Washington gave as a medal, the Medal of Cincinnatus. So what we have is a beautiful sense of optimism, getting back to work, getting our hands dirty with the soil rather than with the blood and carnage of a civil war. It's gorgeous. And I cannot emphasize enough that Winslow Homer is great. We are only looking at one artwork of his in this class. It's not fair, but it's what we gotta do.